At her wedding, my daughter introduced me as the help. Her new family laughed at my outfit. You know, I thought I'd seen it all. But nothing could have prepared me for the moment my own daughter, Victoria, stood before 350 wedding guests, looked a complete stranger in the eye, and introduced him as her father. All while every single detail of that $500,000 dream wedding was paid for by me, Jim Hayes, sitting alone at table 18. Can you even imagine that kind of betrayal? Picture it, your daughter, in a $32,000 Vera Wang gown, telling an entire ballroom that you're dead while hugging another man she calls daddy. Meanwhile, every vendor, every exquisite flower arrangement, every piece of glittering crystal, all of it funded by my bank account, the bank account of the dead father who was practically hidden by the kitchen door. But here's the kicker, the one Victoria didn't see coming when she tried to erase me from her story. Every contract had my signature. Every payment came from my company. And I was holding the final check for $340,000 that would keep her perfect reception running. 26 years of raising her, 6 months of planning her dream wedding, all leading up to one moment of complete, gut-wrenching betrayal that changed absolutely everything. What happened next? Even I was shocked. And it definitely wasn't what those Greenwich socialites expected from a simple plumber in a borrowed tuxedo. Before I tell you how this whole nightmare unfolded, I have to ask, have you ever felt utterly invisible in a room full of people celebrating something you made possible? Because that night, my daughter learned that some bills come due in ways you never, ever see coming. It was Saturday, June 15th, 2024, 4:30 in the afternoon, at the opulent Ashford estate in Greenwich, Connecticut. I pulled my beat-up 2019 Ford F-150 into the valet line, sandwiched between a parade of Bentleys and Mercedes. The valet, probably no older than 20, looked at my truck like I'd brought a dead fish to a 5-star dinner. But he took my keys. Professional courtesy, I guess. My rental tuxedo from Men's Warehouse, an $89 special, felt like a cheap costume. Meanwhile, every other man there wore suits that probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. I could tell by the way the fabric draped. You don't build a business for 30 years without learning the difference between genuine quality and sheer pretense. But they had no idea who was really paying for their champagne. Inside, crystal chandeliers, each worth $25,000, cast a dazzling light over 350 of Connecticut's elite. The guest list read like a who's who of old money families whose names were etched into hospital wings and university buildings. And there she was, Victoria, my daughter, floating through the crowd in her $32,000 Vera Wang gown. She saw me enter. Our eyes met across the vast room. For a split second. Then she looked away. A wedding planner, clipboard in hand, headset firmly in place, approached me. You must be. She scanned her list. Table 18. Table 18. By the kitchen door. Where the catering staff rushed back and forth with trays. Where the sound system had a slight, persistent buzz. Where families seat the relatives they have to invite but don't want to explain. That's me, I said, my voice probably flatter than I intended. Victoria, of course, was at table 1, center of the room, spotlight position, with her new family, the Whitmores. Preston Whitmore III, her soon-to-be husband. Preston Whitmore Sr., who owned half the commercial real estate in Fairfield County. They had money that was old when my grandfather was still farming in Ohio. I took my seat and watched my daughter work the room. She moved differently now, with a practiced grace, like she'd been born to this. Watch the full story on my channel, link below. You won't believe what happened next.